A tourist walks into a museum in Portugal, and within seconds, something feels off. Not because of what's there, but because of what's missing. No one is reacting. No one is uncomfortable. But the tourist? Completely shocked. Why does something that feels so strange to outsiders feel completely normal here? And what if the discomfort says more about you than the art itself? It challenges what you thought you knew. You look around, searching for a shared glance of surprise, a common flicker of confusion. Wait, what are we not seeing yet? But you find none. In that moment, a quiet tension builds, not in the room, but inside you. You feel a small shock, a wave of unease that seems to belong only to you. This is an experience familiar to many visitors who step into the art galleries of Lisbon. Next twist, why is no one reacting? They arrive with guidebooks in hand and expectations shaped by their own cultures. They are ready for history, for color, for the beauty of a city by the sea. Then they encounter the art. They see canvases and sculptures that depict the human form with a startling honesty. The body is shown not as a whisper, but as a clear statement. For some, this openness is jarring. It feels too loud for the quiet space of a museum. They may look away or lean in to whisper to their companions, asking a simple, profound question. Why is this here? This feeling of surprise is a fascinating thing. It is not born of anger or offense, but of a sudden break in a pattern. It is the moment the world presents a picture different from the one held in our minds. In Lisbon's galleries, tourists from around the globe stand before these works. Some blush, some cover their children's eyes, others stand frozen for a moment, their minds racing to process an image that feels both deeply human and strangely out of place. This initial jolt, this quiet, personal surprise, is the beginning of a story. It is a story about art, about culture, and about the different ways we learn to see the world. And yet, if you watch for a little while longer, you will notice something else. You will see the local visitors. They move through the same rooms, past the same artworks, but their pace is different. It is slower, more measured. There is no sharp intake of breath, no hurried whisper. Their calmness stands in stark contrast to the tourist's surprise. It presents a puzzle. What do they see that others do not? And how can a single image create two such different worlds within the same four walls? The gallery becomes a quiet crossroads of perception. Imagine the scene. A group of tourists enters a sunlit gallery. Their chatter softens to a respectful murmur. They move from piece to piece, admiring landscapes, portraits. Then they turn a corner. Before them stands a sculpture, a life-sized figure carved from stone. It is a powerful, unadorned representation of the human body. The chatter stops. A silence falls over the group. One person might pull out their phone, not to take a picture, but to distract themselves. Another might hurry their family along to the next room, their steps just a little too quick. This is the moment of friction, the gentle clash of expectation and reality. Now, let us observe a local family entering the same space. A woman, perhaps with her teenage son, pauses before the very same statue. She does not rush past it. She might point to the way the artist shaped the stone, the texture of the surface, the play of light and shadow across the form. She might speak in a low, even voice about the artist, or the period in which it was made. For her, the artwork is not an interruption. It is a point of connection. It is a piece of their shared cultural language, a subject to be explored with curiosity and respect, not with discomfort. The statue is simply part of the story of art, a story they have known their whole lives. What creates this divide? It is not that one group is right and the other is wrong. It is that they are reading from different books of cultural rules. For many tourists, the public display of the nude body is reserved for specific, often private contexts. Their cultural grammar dictates that such forms are intimate, personal, and not typically placed in the center of a public square or gallery. When they see it displayed so openly and calmly, it feels like a rule has been broken. The surprise they feel is their mind trying to reconcile what they are seeing with the rules they have always known. For the people of Lisbon, however, the gallery is a space where different rules apply. Here, the body is a timeless subject, a vessel for expressing the grand themes of life: strength, vulnerability, beauty, mortality. They have grown up seeing these forms in churches, in public fountains, and in their national museums. Close up, an elderly person's hands, gently folded, resting on a wooden bench in a museum. To them, the nude in art is not about shock. It is about history, philosophy, and the endless quest to understand what it means to be human. Their calm is not indifference. It is a deep, unspoken understanding of art's long and complex conversation with the human form. They are not shocked because they are already part of the conversation. To understand the calm of the locals, we must look at the city itself. Lisbon is not just a collection of buildings. It is a living museum, a canvas that has been painted on for centuries. Art is not confined to galleries here. It breathes in the tiled facades of buildings, in the mournful melodies of fado music drifting from a doorway, and in the grand statues that watch over its public squares. This is a culture that has long lived with art as a daily companion. It is woven into the fabric of life, discussed over coffee, and absorbed on a walk through the city's winding streets. This constant, gentle exposure shapes a different kind of eye. The galleries of Lisbon, from the grand national museums to the tiny, independent spaces tucked away on side streets, are a reflection of this deep relationship. They are not seen as separate, sterile environments, but as extensions of the city's cultural heart. Here, Portuguese art history unfolds, from the religious iconography of the past to the bold political statements of the modern era. So, why does the sight of a nude figure in art cause such a stir for some? The answer lies in the invisible rules we carry within us. From a very young age, our culture teaches us what is acceptable to see and what should be kept private. Our families, our schools, the media around us. These rules are powerful because they are often unspoken. For many cultures, the body is a deeply private matter. Intimacy, vulnerability, and is not something to be displayed casually. These cultural norms become a part of our instinctual response to the world. When a visitor from such a background enters a Lisbon gallery, their internal alarm system is triggered. The artwork violates these deeply ingrained, unspoken rules. The brain, in a fraction of a second, registers a conflict. This should not be here. This response is not a logical judgment about the quality of the art. It is a gut reaction, a form of cultural shock. The feeling of discomfort is real and valid. It is the sound of one set of cultural rules colliding with another. The visitor is, in that moment, a stranger in a foreign land of visual language, and the art speaks in a dialect they have not yet learned to understand. This discomfort is not just about nudity itself. It is also about context. Medical textbook, classical history book. The context tells them how to interpret the image. A textbook signals education. An art gallery, for some, is a public space for general audiences, a place they expect to be comfortable and uncontroversial. The unexpected appearance of the nude form disrupts this expectation of a safe public space, creating a sense of unease and confusion. The question, "Why is this here?" is really a question of "Why is this here?" in this context. The art world, however, operates on a different set of principles. Within the context of art history, the human form is not a private matter, but one of the most public and profound subjects imaginable. It is a universal language used to explore the very essence of our shared humanity. Joy, sorrow, struggle, or grace. They are not trying to shock, but to communicate. They are asking the viewer to look past their initial reaction and to engage with a deeper idea. To truly grasp why the human form is so central to galleries in Lisbon, and indeed around the world, we must take a step back in time. For thousands of years, the body has been art's most enduring subject. Long before painters had complex theories of color, and sculptors had modern tools, they had the human form. In ancient Greece and Rome, artists strove to capture the ideal body, seeing it as a reflection of divine perfection, harmony, and reason. These classical traditions flowed through the centuries, shaping the very foundation of Western art. The body became the primary vehicle for telling the most important stories. During the Renaissance, this fascination was reborn. Artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci conducted detailed studies of human anatomy. They saw the body as a marvel of divine engineering, a map of muscles, bones, and sinew that could express every possible emotion. They used the nude form to tell epic stories from mythology and the Bible, to convey power, divinity, suffering, and grace. This tradition took deep root in Portugal, as it did across Europe. Artists learned their craft by drawing the human figure. It was their alphabet, their grammar, the fundamental tool they used to speak about the world. But the story does not end there. As centuries passed, artists began to use the body to ask new, more challenging questions. They moved beyond depicting gods and heroes. They started to explore the body as a site of personal identity, of social struggle, of vulnerability and imperfection. The body in art was no longer just an ideal to be admired. It became a way to talk about the messy, complicated, and beautiful reality of human life. It could be used to question authority, to challenge conventions, and to explore the inner worlds of psychology and emotion. The nude was a tool for truth-telling. And so, when we see a nude in a Lisbon gallery today, we are looking at a single frame in this very long film. Whether it is a classical sculpture or a modern abstract painting, it is part of this continuous conversation. The artist is not simply showing a body, they are using a language refined over millennia to say something about life. They might be celebrating its beauty, questioning its limits, or mourning its fragility. The work is an invitation to join this ancient dialogue, to look at this familiar form and see, perhaps for the first time, the universe of ideas it contains. The initial shock, that jolt of surprise, is a natural human reaction. It is the mind's quick, protective response to the unexpected. But art asks for something more than our first reaction. It invites us to pause. It asks for a second look, and then a third. A gallery, at its best, is a place designed for this slow transformation. The soft lighting, the quiet hush, the small plaques on the wall. All of these elements are there to help us move from a quick judgment to a slower, more thoughtful state of mind. They are tools for shifting our perspective, even just a little. Imagine that visitor again, the one who turned the corner and felt that wave of surprise. What if, instead of turning away, they chose to stay? What if they took a breath and simply looked? At first, they might only see the form that caused the shock. But after a moment, other details begin to emerge. They might notice the artist's skill, the way the paint is applied, the curve of a line, the masterful use of light and shadow. The work begins to change from a startling image into a crafted object, a product of immense care and intention. The what of the image slowly gives way to the how of its creation. Then another shift can occur. The visitor might read the small card next to the artwork. It might tell the story of the artist or explain the historical moment in which it was made. It might offer a title that provides a clue to its meaning. Suddenly, the image is no longer silent. It is placed within a story. That nude figure is no longer just a body. It is a symbol of melancholy, a celebration of freedom, or a protest against injustice. The shock softens, replaced by a growing curiosity. The mind opens, making room for the artist's idea to enter. The body in the picture becomes a character in a story, a subject of wonder. This journey, from shock to contemplation, is the quiet magic of art. It does not happen every time, and that is all right. Not every piece of art is meant for every person, but the invitation is always there. The galleries of Lisbon, with their rich collections, offer countless such invitations. They ask us to be patient with our own reactions, to look beyond our initial surprise. So, should you find yourself in such a place, feeling that gentle disquiet, perhaps try a small experiment. Pause, breathe, look again. Let the quiet of the room settle your mind. You may find that what at first seemed like a closed door was, in fact, an opening into a new way of seeing.